Nope, getting hit by NPC arrows.
It's all going pear-shaped at this point, boys.
Again, beautiful area. I love that sunshine.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this beautiful area is going to be tainted by... Oh, you can summon a friend!
Oh, I can. Summon, you son of a bitch.
Quickly.
Summon
Quickly.
Broughton Man X. Oh, son of a bitch.
Oh shit, he's right there.
Oh, he's doing a Tonberry invade.
What's a Tonberry invade?
Where he's put on, he's put on, you know what a Tonberry is. You put on iron flesh, and then just sort of slowly chase a guy down.
Oh, you got a friend though.
I did.
Ah.
He's my bro.
You got the brosif. And he's almost shot you instead of the guy. Wow, a whole 13 damage on that Tonberry.
Oh god.
But it's too bad that he has iron flesh because he doesn't take much damage.
Ah, he...
Don't let him hand hook you. Backstab.
Oh shit. Oh wow, that did 0 oh, he shield bashed me. Well played, good sir.
Well played, Tonberry. This Tonberry didn't know what it was getting into.
He didn't. Oh wow, he threw a dung pie at me. He's trying to toxify me. This guy is full of tricks.
He's got them all up his sleeves.
He's got every trick up his sleeve.
Except
the
like
trick
just
of killing
legit
me.
destroying you.
Oh! How about that?
Oh, an invader defeated. Now the really sad part is if he had just invaded you straight up, like with his normal weapons, he probably would have just destroyed you.
Oh, and then I stole his humanity. Yeah, if he just bothered to kill me.
But instead he tried to be all tricksy. Anyway, and that was nice of that guy to help you.
It was. Thanks, dude. Now let's go. Why am I still locked in here? Anyway, shall we? Oh, Lord.
Oh, it's because you have that guy summoned and he hasn't left yet. That's why you can't change classes.
I get the steel leggings. That's nice.
Hurrah! And here is a Firekeeper shard, and those help you level up your Estus flask, the power of the healing. Firekeeper sword.
Okay,
You can
then.
leave now, dude. You should leave now. Okay.
Yeah, because I'd really like to go to a bonfire, but so it
You
goes.
should leave. You should leave, dude.
Come on, Brosif.
Like, we summoned you to fight Tonberry, not to hang around.
Tank it for me, Brosif.
And don't kill Lautrec right away this time, because I think for the playthrough it's more interesting if he survives.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Because also the Lautrec storyline is like a tutorial for the like
For
vengeance,
invasions and-
yeah, like vengeance invasions. What is that dude doing?
He's whacking me in the back, is what he's doing. And now he's blocking me.
Why didn't he go home? Go home. Is there a...
There's no,
Go.
like, unsummon.
Go home. We don't need you. We wanted to fight the Tonberry. Oh, the wizards are also non-respawn.
Oh, shit, yeah. Didn't see him coming. But yeah, I think if I don't do anything... Well, that's weird. Um, yeah, he will despawn uh, after we kill the boss. Which apparently we're going to do now.
Okay. And this boss here, my first playthrough gave me so much trouble. I don't know how many damn times I
Yeah,
tried it. It's really... I mean, Dave's gonna do it well and easily, but, like, it's hard to explain just how difficult this is the first
oh
time.
Lord, don't oversell me. I'm actually
I
gonna...
mean, you've done this tons of times. This shouldn't be too bad.
I'm actually gonna switch back to my scimitar.
And summon Solaire, too. That'll make it
Oh
breeze.
yeah, that would make it easier.
But yeah, but your first playthrough, it's just very difficult. And you'll see why as we go in here. And these are the Bell Tower Gargoyles, plural, boss fight.
Yeah, and then this boss fight is actually a callback to a boss fight in Demon Souls that also starts with one flying gargoyle enemy on a narrow space, and then becomes two.
And this was again the Knight Solaire that we met earlier. This is the first boss fight you can summon for. And that big old church we just went all over, we're now on top of it. I remember when I first played this, it was like scary. Because it's a big old gargoyle, it just flies down at you.
It's a big old gargoyle, and he's got an axe for a tail, which you can actually cut off.
And he also has just another... Well, that's a halberd, I guess, in his hand. Anyway, he's scared.
Yeah, he ain't nice, that's for sure.
Boom.
Alright, let's do it, brosives.
Come at me, bro. And now, if you're fighting this alone, which, I mean, you can summon Solaire basically anytime. But if you're playing this alone, the main thing is you just need to learn the pattern of attack and learn to dodge roll.
And ideally, you need to kill the first one before the second one comes down.
Well, but that's pretty difficult because I think once the first one gets down to a certain amount of health, it spawns automatically, so you gotta re-get it down fast.
It's half. Yeah, it's half.
But then the second gargoyle has about half health as well, so it's not so difficult. And again, that was a cinch, but if you do it alone in the first time, it's quite intimidating and difficult. The main thing is really, you just learn the pattern of attacks, roll to the sides of like its tail swings and its axe attacks. And when the second one comes down, you just need to keep them both to one side of you. You can't let them surround you, and you have to keep them far away that their fire breath can't hit you. And you just kind of have to take your time and go back and forth across the roof and hack away at them. And it sounds easy to do, but it's quite difficult.
Yep. And then here.
And this is the first bell. This is our task that we were given from that night in the Undead Asylum, and this is our first bell that we're ringing. And again, the vistas and views are just incredible.
Nothing happens yet. But yeah, that fight also, Solaire being there introduces the idea of being able to summon allies to help you for boss fights. But that fight actually has a second secret summon, where if you free Lautrec, which we've mentioned and I'm going to go do right now, and then go back to Firelink Shrine before fighting the gargoyles, you can then come back here and summon Lautrec as well, and have Solaire and Lautrec, two NPCs, helping you for the fight.
And this is a really interesting guy too.
I am Oswald of Karim, the Pardoner.
The Oswald of Karim, the Pardoner. And if you ever kill an NPC or do quote-unquote bad or morally bad actions, he can, for a fee of souls, cleanse you of that curse.
Yes.
I mean, actually, that's not that's a sin. A curse is a different actual thing in the game.
Yeah.
And while you're sinful, you can be invaded by earlier we were invaded by a red guy, and the red invaders are Darkstalker Cath minions, and we'll get to that later. But if you're sinful, you can get invaded by followers of Velka, who's the goddess of sin, and they're purple. And they invade people who do bad things. So like if you kill an innocent NPC, a purple player might invade you to enact vengeance.
Yeah.
But if you go to the pardoner for a soul fee, he'll pardon you for those sins.
Yeah, and I think this is the first time in the game where we're introduced to the idea of Velka. Even though Oswald doesn't say outright that's who he's serving, but the goddess of like vengeance and retribution on the sinful is Velka. So,
and Velka and Gwyn apparently are not on good terms. She runs foul of.
They are not seeing eye to eye these days.
And she's all about purple and ravens.
Yeah.
Are her symbols. And this is another part. Normally, you'd probably do this stuff before the gargoyle fight. We're going to free Lautrec, which we mentioned earlier. But because that douchebag wouldn't leave after being summoned, we had to go fight the gargoyles beforehand.
Yeah. Which worked out okay.
It did, but we should have gone. Ain't no room for him here. And Lautrec is also an interesting... There's a lot of really interesting characters in the game. They all have interesting backstories and...
Oh shit, he's gone.
Interesting motivations.
Oh yeah, he frees himself after the gargoyles. Well, how about that?
Oh, poop.
He'll still be at the Firelink.
Alright, well he'll be at the Firelink, but if you don't fight the gargoyles yet, you can open the gate and let him out, and you can actually fight him at the time and kill him if you want.
Yeah, and he'll give you a sunlight medal, which is what you get for killing a boss while having someone summoned to assist you.
But as we just discovered, apparently, if you defeat the gargoyles first, he is gone.
Yeah. And then here is the shortcut. Again, verticality and circular design that doesn't feel like backtracking. Taking you back to Firelink Shrine. See, there is the tower and the nest where the raven is. And then down here is Patris. Once again. So. And now we're back in Firelink.
And if you go down to where we saw the Firekeeper for Firelink, Lautrec is going to be stalking her.
Yeah.
He's creeping is what he does.
Creepers be creeping. Yeah. So yeah, here he is.
Hello. I don't think we've met. I am Knight Lautrec of Karim. We're both undead. Perhaps we can help one another.
I've never heard that dialogue before.
What business?
Well, usually free him.
Then stay.
And you can either, if you find him now, he drops a ring, which is actually pretty OP, the Ring of Favor and Protection. It ups all your stats, but when you remove it, it breaks, but for early game, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
If you don't, well, I don't want to go into... If you don't, you fight him later. I won't go into details because we'll see the events unfold, but you end up fighting him anyway later on.
And then here's the Firekeeper's soul that we picked up in the parish. And offers us a lot of information about what the Firekeeper is. And we learn that you can use the souls to up your Estus flasks, and it learns that the Firekeepers really don't have a good deal. That their souls are gnawed by infinite humanity, and that they all tend to have some sort of affliction. Every one of them that you meet will be that way. But you can use this soul to reinforce your Estus flask, so that is a +2 and will heal more.
Hurrah.
And Lautrec is down here looking at her, and that... I
is ominous. And we'll find out later. I have my own theory of their backstory, but I'll talk about it. It's also not correct, but...
Alright, so there's
I like
16
drama.
Strength. Do we want to go with full strength, or do you want to go dex?
Strength is more... Let's do dexterity, screw it.
Alright.
We'll get like strength to 18 or 20, because that'll let you use most of the upgradable items, and then
I don't
and
know
go
if
dexterity.
anything past 16 is worth it. We'll see. If I need more strength, I'll get it.
Yeah, I mean it's not a problem to get a couple more points if you need.
Alright, so now...
Alright, should we call this a day, or keep? How long have we been recording?
I think we're coming up at... Well, it's been an hour, but it's been less than an hour because of the Drake sword shooting.
Okay. Do you want to keep going, or?
I don't know. We can call it. I'm trying to think of where... I think normally
Let's
now...
just call it, because that way we can, in the interim, think of what to do next. Cause,
Yeah, I'm thinking next I go... Normally I would go back to the asylum.
Yeah, it's better to... Let's do the asylum now, actually. Let's just do the asylum and then
Okay.
call... Because that'll only take like 10 minutes.
I mean, I kill the boss, so...
Well, then it'll take 15.
It might take 15.
Alright, so let's just go back to... Pretend we didn't end the discussion. Okay, so now, as we mentioned, the mystery key is pointing us down towards the depths, I mean lower on Deadburg and then the depths in that whole area. Another popular destination is the Darkroot Garden. But what we're going to do is just, at some point in the game, you're supposed to go back to the Undead Asylum, because the Rusted Iron Ring is incredibly useful. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Well, no, we're not, because you're going to get the items and roll back down. But we're going to go back to the Undead Asylum now and get that over with, and then do the rest of the game. Because, again, the Rusted Iron Ring is just really useful. Especially if we want to do the Darkroot Basin and kill that Hydra. It's easier. So the way you get back to the Undead Asylum is you pretend to be an egg.
Yep, and then that giant raven flies you back. And then this feels like something that you'd sort of just have to read a wiki for, but if you talk to that crestfallen knight down by Firelink, I think right now, after you kill the gargoyles, he has a conversation bit where he says that somebody else did this, to give you a hint that it's possible.
And don't forget, before you do this, on the roof of that building, we just got the second key, the second floor key of the Undead Asylum, and you need that before going back, so don't miss that.
Yeah.
And again, this raven is most likely attached to Velka in some way, the goddess of sin, because we know that ravens are her messengers and her symbol.
Yeah, and remember, Velka and Gwyn don't get along, and the raven is the one who saved you from here and brought you to Lordran with the express quest to kill Gwyn.
And don't forget, Gwendolyn also pushes you to confront Gwyn, and he is also very close to Moon and Vengeance motifs. So that also raises very interesting questions.
God, I hate these fire guys.
Because the actual quote-unquote Vengeance Covenant is the Dark Moon one, which is ruled by Gwendolyn. So him wanting you to confront Gwyn and his affinity for vengeance raises the questions of what his connection to Velka is, if any. And just interesting things to ponder as you play the game.
Yep. And then I'm gonna rest at this bonfire.
Now the main thing is, remember, we found that key for Undead Asylum, and we remember earlier, before fighting the big ol' fat demon, there was a gated, like a locked gate on the second floor.
Yeah. And then this
Where
is
are you?
obviously...
Are you finding the thing right away?
Yeah, I always fight it right away.
Okay. And then also, in the very beginning, there was that demon stomping around in the basement. And the way you fight him is you're about to see. And it's easier, if you come back and fight him way at the end game, it's much easier because you have better armor and weapons. The timing that Deprava's doing it is going to make it a bit of a challenge, or at least theoretically.
Yeah, and see, this is another one of those trolley traps where if you don't know about this, you walk right back into the Undead Asylum, you run straight through, and then the floor collapses, and down you go. And then, of course, another thing that the developers like is dropping you down something at the beginning so that you start the fight with no health.
So the main thing is when you first drop here, do as Deprava did and go hide behind a pillar, because if you don't, he's going to release an energy magic attack that'll just hurt you. And you're already got low health from the drop.
Yeah.
So his attacks, he's got several. He's got the butt fall, which is really easy. You just back up or roll it. It's pretty easy to dodge. He has a few axe swings, which are also quite easy. Then he has this axe, like, stab it to the ground, and as long as you're behind him, it won't hurt you.
Actually, if you're directly behind him, it will hurt you.
Oh, right. Well, if you're close and behind him, it will. But if you're, like, back and behind him at an angle, it's okay. And then he also has an AoE magic attack, and that you can't really dodge.
Yeah, that was it. It's a forward AoE blast, where if you are in front of him, it pretty much hits you.
Yeah.
There's really no
So
way
you
around
have to
it.
just back away. And again, once you learn the pattern, it's not too difficult, but when you're first playing the game, all of this stuff can be quite overwhelming. So it's just, the bosses are difficult until you really get used to them, but pretty much every boss, once you beat them the first time, you kind of get the hang of it, and you can do it kind of easily on other playthroughs, but it's just a lot to get the hang of early on.
Yeah, I remember this guy, actually, I wonder if I have time. I do. Yeah, there's no getting around that damn attack.
It just hurts you, the AoE magic thing just hurts you. Yeah.
There's just no way around it.
Nothing to do. Again, if you play this later in the game, you have more health and can take that. But the difficult thing about many of these bosses is, you know, the pattern is great, but if you screw up once, you're dead. Like, there's not much to do there.
I screwed that up because I decided to switch weapons mid-fight, but you'll see why I did that in a second.
Right. And again, keep in mind, really, if you fight him later in the game, you have the armor and health to deal with it, and it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I feel like they probably expected you to do this closer on to going to Anne Orlando.
Well, I feel like you're supposed to come back first to get the Rusted Iron Ring, and then you're supposed to fight that guy and get totally dominated, and then come back later for, I don't know, that's what I was like imagining.
Okay, that didn't work at all. Okay, let's re-grab this. Run from this.
And again, his axe swings are real easy to dodge. The real problem is his magic stuff. It's just difficult to... Look at all that damage.
Yeah, well no, the reason that I switched, you know why I switched.
Well, I did, but I'm just marveling at the
Yeah.
30 points of damage.
There we go. That's good stuff. Yeah, the Uchigatana has a bleed effect, and these demons are, as far as I'm aware, the only bosses in the game that actually have bleed effect.
Yeah, that might be true. Well, yeah, most of the others...
I think Taurus Demon does, maybe Capra, and these two, the big old fat ones.
I'm sure, does Gaping Dragon or whatever bleed? We got all
No.
those? Oh,
I'm
okay.
pretty sure he does.
And bleed effects are basically like, it's a dot in addition to the normal attack. That
Well,
just
actually,
bleeds.
it's not a dot. It's that they have a bleed meter, and once it fills up, depending on the weapon, it does a percentage of health.
Oh, I thought it was just a steady dot. Okay, well anyway, it's basically it's just added damage.
Yeah, it's sort
And
of
you
a
need the added damage because as you see, you're going through.
yeah. And they're particularly good on like this boss because if you fight him this early on, he has such high defense that, as you see, I'm doing piddly damage. But because the bleed effects do a certain amount of damage no matter what, it makes it much easier to take care of it.
Bleeding is also good for PvP. Well, it depends on the weapon, but it can be quite useful in PvP.
Yeah, there are several PvP builds built around bleeding.
like the scythe and stuff. He's got a cute little tail.
Yeah, he does.
Big old butt. And again, all these demons we'll find out later in the game where they come from. There's that bleed.
That was still close.
Don't you die on me.
I didn't.
And that was that demon.
Yep. And then you get Humanity Homeward Bone, and then you get a slab.
Titanite slab. And those help you get your weapons to the highest possible, the plus 15.
Yeah, which is again proof that they probably expected you to do this guy later on, because there's no way that you need a slab right now because you need 2 other items in order to be able to even use it.
Right, but little did they know we've played this 30 times.
Yeah.
There's also a Black Knight here. And actually, this sword is really good if you can get it.
Yeah. Oof, if I can not die.
Well, that's
the real trick.
Ever the quandary. Look at you with your bra out, you Ravager. Your hair all in a neat little bun.
Let's see if I can chain backstab him. I can. Oh shit.
Oh no.
Oh no. Everything's going tit-shaped.
Tit-shaped, like what's in your bra?
Yeah, that's the shape.
No sweaterkins. Take old biddies. Actually, that's an athletic bit.
I got it!
Hooray!
Hooray!
The game is now broken forever. Hurrah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion, that sword and then the halberd are the 2 best.
Yeah, I definitely
Because the halberd just does the most damage, and the sword is a little bit more mobile. But like the axe is just big and slow. And the peculiar doll we're going to talk about later, but it's also an important item that lets you travel to a. Is it even a hidden area? Everyone knows about it, but
I mean, everybody knows about it, but if you don't have the doll, you can't get to it.
If this were an EA game, that would be a DLC.
Yeah. And the Painted World is actually my favorite location in the game.
Well, I guess it's up. Well, I like the Undead Parish a lot, but yeah, the Painted World is real nice.
I like the Painted World, and I actually really like Blighttown, even though I'm the only one.
You are, and I mean that. Of the millions of people who played this, you are the single person who doesn't hate Blighttown. I just hate the climb down is like such a slog.
Don't you always do the shortcut?
Well, actually, I prefer the shortcut is so lackluster to me. The first few times I did the shortcut, but after that I started doing the legit long way down just because it felt more of an adventure, although it's a slog.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
But yeah, the shortcut is nice though.
Yeah. Oh, and here's another Black Knight.
What? Is this new? Oh, I've never actually been here. I guess.
Oh, really?
I've never gone this way.
Yeah, this is the 3rd sword Black Knight.
Yeah. But anyway, that sword is really good for any Black Knight weapon. Is basically breaks PvE. Very good for that.
Although
if we're gonna use the crotch, right?
If we were gonna use Black Knight weapons, we went down the wrong route because Black Knight weapons are strength based.
Yeah, right. But I mean in general.
Yeah.
They're still good for you though.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just get them up to +5, that'll for the
I got another
standard
one.
first game.
Can I use it yet? No, need 20 strength.
But yeah, for the non-new game plus, I mean, even if you're not a strength-based build, that'll get you through all the bosses basically.
Oh, and then here's our good buddy, the Knight, who's now gone hollow.
Because you killed him.
That's...
at that little kick.
Really?
Really. Oh, how did that not backstab him? He's a quicken.
I know.
You done goofed, Dave.
I done goofed. There we go. Boy, I goofed hard on that.
You did. But it's okay. All's well that ends well.
Yeah. And then you get the crest shield, which up until now I've been using the dragon crest shield, which is notable for being
Fireproof.
very,
Well, not proof, but...
yeah, very high resistance to fire. The crest shield is the magic equivalent of that has very, very high resistance to magic damage. And the reason that I always go here before Darkroot Garden is because the crest shield makes the Moonlight Butterfly boss fight.
Well, actually, the Kadukia shield makes it even less of a problem.
I think the crest shield has more magic resist.
I would bet against that. But I won't bet actual real money, but let's bet whatever professional pride we have.
You'll bet Dark Souls dollars?
Yeah. I'll bet souls.
I've never actually bought the Kadukia shield.
You don't buy it, it's in the cemetery.
Oh. I have never used it once.
Well.
Really?
And as you can see, even a seasoned veteran like Deprava sometimes gets a little
Indeed.
worked by these guys, because it ain't an easy game.
Yeah.
Plus you're wearing a bra.
Yeah, I am wearing a bra. I just hate moving slowly.
It's really true. I mean, once you get your endurance up, before then it really is like anytime you put anything on, like you wear a shirt and it slows you down.
Yeah. So there's the
So
Rusted
that's
Iron Ring.
the Rusted Iron Ring, which helps you move through waters and swamps.
Yeah,
and
it
that's-
makes movement through any sort of hindering terrain normal.
And that's really the main reason to come back here, because it's really kind of the only thing you need that you need.
Alright, should I level up to use the this Black Knight sword?
Yes.
Okay. I need 3 more strength.
Oh no.
Oh man.
And then that was it for the second run through of the Undead
yeah,
Asylum.
that was it. Oh man, if I got the halberd, this place would be easy mode.
Yeah, the halberd is ridiculous.
It's the best PvE weapon.
It's the only reason I defeated Calamite. I tried doing it with the Baldur's Side Sword and it just was not enough damage.
Oh god,
So
when
then
I did it with
I switched to the halberd and
when I did
was
it with
like,
the Baldur's Side sword, it took forever.
it took a long time. I used like 50 pine resins and it was still taking forever. And then he killed me.
Yeah, he does that.
But then the halberd took care of him.
It sees you through the tough times.
That's another aspect of this, is the reason this is so easy is the DLC is hard as fuck, and it like really trains you out of, I mean, the normal game is a cakewalk compared to the DLC.
And then over here is Snuggly the Crow.
And you can basically like
warm.
you trade sexual favors for drugs and crap.
Yeah, I mean, if you can put certain items in the nest, and then if you quit the game and restart, or leave the area and come back, Snuggly will trade a different item to you. And normally you're trading something mid-level or low-level for something high-grade. I think this is how you get another slab. No, not
But
slab.
he does also give you blowjobs for narcotics.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think you can get a slab from him. No, or maybe it's like the
You get
greater
a Demon
Titanite
Titanite.
something.
You get a Demon
Oh,
Titanite and some chunks. I don't think you get a slab. I think there's only 3 slabs in the game. Or, well, 3 guaranteed slabs.
And that was our return to the Undead Asylum.
Yep, and now I need
And
to
we're going to
try-
stop this installment right
We'll
here.
stop this one right here, yeah. And I'll try
And
not
next-
to die on my
Next
way
we'll go
down.
to either Lower Undeadburg or the Moonlit, I mean the Dark Route.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be Dark Root. Oh, somebody's snoring.
Who could that be? It's coming from down there in that pool.
Who could it be?
Well, there is a door-looking thing right there. Might there be something under there?
Might there be?
This area as well that we're in used to be a church,
Yeah.
as you can tell.
And then here's another statue of the wife of Gwyn with the
Right.
child.
And the one thing we didn't do is really focus on the statue in the Undead Parish, but you see a similar statue in the Undead Parish
Yeah, I
and
think I
lots of
put that.
iconography.
Yep.
And you
then
see it here as well.
Here's an empty chest. Which,
But
is-
turn around, look at that statue. She's sitting on, like, root tree-looking things, right?
yeah, it looks like it.
I'm telling you, it's the Witch of Isolith, dude.
I'm telling you it's not.
I'm telling you. She and Gwen fooled around.
No.
Yes, dude.
No.
He's like, we're giant magic people, we should do it. And she's like, okay, get me drunk. So he got her drunk and they did it.
If you say so.
That's my theory.
Alright, well, that's gonna wrap up this one.
Alright, so we'll be back another day for more.
Yep. See ya.